me and Kevin Nash, Goldberg, and a couple others had a lawsuit against WCW
Mhm.
because they were just making and we weren't getting paid.
Mm.
Like, from bowling balls to, you name it. And
Yeah.
I had no reason I had a bowling ball 'cause I had someone send it to me, and I don't see anywhere of that, and then there was a bunch of things I didn't see. So they weren't gonna give any less than 50 cents on a dollar on the money if you wanted to leave. But because I had to cut because I had that suit, they would, um, they would do, 70 cents on a dollar. And Dusty told me, "Do not go. Take the money," 'cause I left $487,000 on the table to go, and mainly because I was 45 at the time, and my body was starting to feel it. My back
Right.
I broke my back,
Yeah.
you know, and I was starting to feel it, and that would've put me out, like, another 9 months or something, and I was like, I'm gonna get Kevin. Kevin. If I listened to Kevin Nash, I think is one of the smartest businessmen in the business ever. I would have easily had a couple $1,000,000 more in my account because of things that he told me to do and just out of experience. And some of them
Right.
I did, and some of them I didn't. But that was a big one. So,
It's hard sometimes, and I've had to learn a lot of lessons of business versus the love of the business,
right,
and they ram into each other a lot, and
right.
if you can't separate it. Sometimes you have to figure out like, mm, this is what I should do for the sake of the business, but there's also that side of you that's like, well, it doesn't make sense to do that if you're not getting compensated. But it does ramrod each other when you have a huge passion for what you do. And
And I like I said, I didn't know how long it would last. I would never have thought at 60 what was I, 60 years old when I did the Dallas just going out and hit a couple diamond cutters for, Mania. I didn't think I'd be doing that at 60, you know what I mean? Didn't think about that at the time. Um, but it was, like I say, I felt a lot of the guys, they didn't come over because they're gonna take the money. And, in retrospect, it is what it is,
yeah, yeah, they man, they didn't do you any favors though. I mean, we've never really talked about it. I mean,
No, I figured we were gonna.
yeah, no, yeah, because I get a lot of heat because, "Oh, you killed Paige," I didn't book this, right?
Hey,
But
dude, I never you wanna know the God's honest truth? I loved working with you in the ring because you was the lightest ever. Now, Bob Holly was my last match ever in the WWE because he let me tell you that story first, and then we'll get back into this. Uh, segue. Uh, I have this match with Bobby, right? And it's just after friggin' Mania, and Hayes comes up to me after Mania, he goes, "You turned Vince around. That was a great match I had with friggin' Christian, who was a great being a heel in his home country." And friggin' it was just a really great, 8, 12, whatever the hell it was, minute match. So, um, what the hell was I just talking about before that?
Bob
Um,
Holly.
oh, yeah, Bob Holly. See, I've already forgot because he hit me so hard. When I got him in a turnbuckle, right? Bing, bing, bing. My punches look great. I'm like him, barely connecting. I throw him in a turnbuckle. I come running at the last second, boop.
Boot.
Now my neck, that's it. It don't go farther than that, and that's good. When he hit, boom, extended, whoa. So now I'm a little on Queer Street, and then here comes Bobby with that clothesline from hell. Woof. I wake up on the ground thinking, oh, I have no idea where I am. Oh, so look over, I see Bob. I go, okay, that makes sense. Friggin'
It's coming
now,
back to me now.
yeah, coming back, the first thing I've trained myself to do, because I mean, I don't know how many times, but is there a red light? 'Cause there's a red light, we're on TV. If there's not, throw me to the floor
Mhm.
so I can figure out what the hell's happening.
Mm.
He goes to pick me up. I go, Bobby, you knocked me out. I have no idea where I am. Slam. He goes, going off the top rope, stop me. And as he started climbing the top rope, I remembered. And what I would do to get a guy who's climbing so it looked real, I would dive on the ropes last second so he nut
Shake
shot
off, yeah.
himself,
Mhm.
right? So now I start climbing up the first rope, the second rope. I go to put my foot on the third rope, and I'm still like, I go, I got to get him light. I got to get him flat. I got to get him flat. I'll stop here, pick him up. Here we go. Boom. We hit. I hear, oh, and my neck. I land on the top of my shoulders and my head, and I'm going, oh, he's selling more than me. I'm thinking, I know I laid that flat, you know. And he goes, "Are you okay?" I go, "No, dude. I feel like I fucked my neck." He goes, "All right, let's go home." If I can go into it, and I end up with a fucking cutter, boom, look at the people. Oh, get to the back. Now, everybody knows when you're boys, you get to the back, you hug each other. Thank you
Mhm.
for that match. He gives me a hug. He goes, "Hey, bro, sorry about that boot. I know I caught you with that boot." I said, yeah, you did, but it ain't checkers." And he goes, "Man," he goes, "in that clothesline," he goes, "I thought I tore my bicep." And there's my chin
Mm.
mark
On your
in his arm. And he says, "But you got me back." I said, "I got you back? How the I get you back?" He goes, "When you jackknife, your foot came around so fast and hit me in the dick so hard, I thought my dick was on fire."
it wasn't his neck, it was his
Oh, God.
Oh, my lord.
Oh,
dick.
so
Uh,
back over to us.
yeah, so, I mean, you take the biggest baby face from
Yeah.
WCW, and you turn him into a stalker heel. Now I always say that, and and some people kinda look at me cross-eyed about this one. There's always like an acclimation period from when you come from one company
Sure.
to another. And a lot of people give me a stank eye when I say that. Like, if you can work, you can work. It's not that way. You can be a great worker, but there's still there's the WCW way of doing things, and there was the WWE
And there
way.
was. I didn't know that, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, then, they book you, in a as a stalker.
Right.
y- Like it's
Can I tell you the backstory
yeah,
of
because
that?
I don't really know it. So
So this is and this became a rib later, not for me, but on me. Me and Kimberly were super late because the traffic's insane. I wanna say it's Memorial Day weekend or whatever where there's just so much traffic. So Vince has gotta wait like 2 hours past our meeting. And we get there, and I walk in that door, he goes, "Diamond Dallas Page," puts out his hand. I grab his hand and go, "Bro, I've been wanting to meet you my whole life." I said, "I'm not shaking your hand, I'm hugging you." And I gave him a hug. Friggin' later on, you would see Vince be doing the hug thing on the program, which he never did before. Definitely rib on. People said, "So you get that rib on you on the hug thing?" Which is, to me, was funny, but this was about to be like, you have to understand, everything I did in WCW, I had to fight, and I mean arguments in the booking room. In arguments, I wouldn't back it down to anyone, and neither were they. So we would go, there was numerous times I had to fight for everything. I'm in New York now. I know how over I am. I know I'm gonna draw serious money. I never did the job about doing the job for anyone. Like, I'm the perfect employee. What I didn't realize is what Austin said to me, and me and Austin, best friends for 30 years. I've done his podcast he had on his own 10 times.
mm,
But when we do the WWE's one, where you go out to the ranch and you do the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
out there, the first thing he says to me, he goes, "When you came in, did you realize the heat that you guys had?" "No, why would I think I have any heat?" "Oh, because you're the brand you're the guy, you said at the beginning of the
Yeah,
show, besides Sting, friggin' that's the guy who came up through it and everything,
yeah.
and you're that cat. So this is what Vince's ego to me as we went through this, and I didn't realize. Let me go back to this meeting here. So I'm here, Shane's there, Vince is here, Kim's there. And we talk a little bit, and then we get into what we want you to do. And we want you to be the stalker, to Taker and blah, blah, blah. No one knows it. Now, if I'm in WCW, I remember I'm gonna be a team player here because I don't think I have any heat.
Right.
Yeah, I don't, and it isn't me personally, which would took me a while to get to. It was the character and WCW. So I get it was business to a certain degree, and I learned a lot from it. If someone WCW and I just came in there, or if I was keeping my same mindset into WWE
Mhm.
that I was already using, if he would have said, "We want you to stalk Undertaker's wife," I'd have looked at him, I'd have looked at her, and I looked at him, I say, "Are you looking at my wife?
Mm.
She's the most beautiful chick ever, and you want me to stalk, of all people, Undertaker's wife?" I would have that's what I would have said,
Right.
and I would have went, "Listen, when you wanna do people's champion versus people's champion, give me a call." What I learned, I didn't say that. I did pitch the idea
Mhm.
of doing it, and the pitch, which I'll give you in a second, is it's really good. Friggin' I didn't say that. And what I had to go through in my head over time because I didn't like, I would kill to work with you a year earlier when I
Mhm.
didn't come in with that friggin' heat.
Right.
And I was being booked differently, and that's what people don't understand. It's like, you didn't do it. You were booked that
You're
way.
booked that way,
We're
yeah.
to beat the WCW down, it was a fluke. Those 83 weeks were a fluke. It was what it was. But I learned and take the only reason I'm building this beautiful place on the beach at Panama City Beach, I have no mortgages on anything. The only reason I can do that, I learned a very valuable lesson from Vince McMahon that day. You can't be afraid to get up and walk away from the table. And if I could have shifted over to People's Champion, knowing what I know now, I would have done exactly the same to get me here. Because, bro, now me and you are super tight,
Yeah.
and I love that. And it took a while to get
Mhm.
some of that to go away. But man, I love where we're at. It was so important for me to have learned that lesson. And every time it looks like the worst thing happened to me, it's turned out to be the best on every damn phase. So let me tell you the People's Champion idea. I'm on a plane. You guys are doing a house show. We've got a pay-per-view the next day in Canada. And as I get up, I don't realize Pat Patterson's behind me. Now, Pat Patterson, classy Freddie Blassie brought my tape to Pat Patterson and played it for him when I was in the AWA. Guy's got chops. He's got a great look. And
Mhm.
Pat's like, yeah. And he's Andre the Giant as a manager.
It sounds like
When Taker not Taker, when Ultimate Warrior and, Hogan, were getting ready to do their thing,
right.
they're practicing at the Sportstorium in Tampa, and so that's where I'm working out of, 2 days a week,
Right.
the Sportatorium. Pat's there, we're sitting on the apron, and he said, "Yo, Diamond, I remember when Freddie told me, show me your stuff and thought you're good, but like I said, too tall, man. You were Andre the Giant as a manager." So I knew that was never gonna happen. But that was the last time I saw Pat. Now I've had this crazy run.
Right.
I'm on top of the world, and Pat gets up from behind me, and he goes, "Diamond, I thought that was you." He goes, "Let me tell you, maybe the most impressive career I've seen that came from where you came from to get to where you got
Quite a
to."
compliment.
Oh, it was huge. So I
Yeah.
said, "Pat, do you mind if I come by the show tonight? You know, I pretty much raised Big Show in this business. I got him ready for the match with Hogan. He was down at Power Plant every day. So was I, because they weren't using me. And he said, sure, come on by. Never thinking I would. And that's the same building where I was Diamond Dallas chauffeur with my 62 pink Cadillac with Jimmy Hart. You know, so coming back there, I walked in, I found my way in, because you know that's a hard building to get
Yeah,
in if you
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
especially you get dropped off by a cab.
Yeah.
And I got in, he pushed me up to Big Show's suite. He has the intermission main event.
Mhm.
Rock's got the other one. So now he comes up, we're watching this with family, and it's getting ready to near the end of the show. And he said, listen, let's go back. Let me get my bag, and then we'll go out, because we're going to go out and have a good time. Kimberly's back in the hotel. She's sleeping. And we get in the locker room. You remember how big those locker rooms
Yeah,
are?
yeah.
Humongous. And there's nobody there. And you hear Big Show go, hey, Rock, you still here? Yeah, I'm in the shower. He goes, great. I got some huge Mark who's dying to meet you. Like, you mother. And I just flipped. I don't know why I said, that's right. And I don't want to meet you unless you're naked and you're all soaped up.
Oh,
And
jeez.
so, you know, when someone knows that voice, but they don't know it here,
Right.
he turned around that corner like the Michelin Man was
Also all over him.
And he said, oh, Diamond, it's gonna happen right now. You can take your time, bro. So now we're sitting there, and, you know, he's got the mullet gimmick still at that time. You know, but he's on that rocket. You know this guy's special. And I tell him, I said, Jake Roberts called me when because he was booking at the time when
Right.
Rocky came in.
Right.
And he said, where do you see this kid, Rocky Maivia? He goes, he's so good looking. I don't know if I want to fight him or him. And he popped. He said, that sounds like something Jake would say.
Mm.
I said, you know, bro, he said in 1993, he told me I had the ability, if I could just keep doing what I was doing, to be one of the biggest names in the business. He said the same thing about Austin when he was the ring bearer. And he said it about you.
The ringmaster.
Ringmaster, yeah. And he said, I said, man, I've been loving watching your career, man. And I love this thing you did with the Rock this and the Rock that. And then you were yourself. And then you were the Rock. And then you were yourself. I go, it was really good. And so I'm going to enjoy watching your career, bro. So as we're walking out the door, I hear, hey, Diamond. As Big Show gets out of my way, I can see him putting on all his Versace shirts and just rolling into character, right? He goes, you know, Diamond, there's only one people's champion. And Big Show's like, whoa, shit. And I just deadpanned him. And eventually I said, you know, Rock, you're right. And you, my friend, well, you're looking at him. Oh, and I was out the door. And that night, me and him, when I got so drunk, I came back. Trying to wake Kimberly up. She said, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I said, I don't want to. Yeah, I want to tell you I'm going to show up in the WWE or WWF. She's like, what? You just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal? I go, yeah. But when it's over, this is what's going to happen. When I show up, they're going to turn off all the lights. Everybody's going to think it's Jericho. But, 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds go by. Jim Ross is going, hold on, we've got some technical difficulty. And in a completely blacked out arena, you hear, who's the real people's champion? Spotlight. You're looking at him. Bang! Boom, 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 explosions. I literally said to her that night, The Rock will be hurt. He won't be able to be there. Or he'll be doing a movie or something. When I came in, he was shooting friggin' The Mummy. Like, I saw it. And it was the first idea that I ever let someone talk me out of, which he's pretty good at that.
Well, yeah. You weren't up against the normal person,
The normal
person there.
And, yeah, dude, if you can it bummed me out that we didn't get to have our run the way it should have been.
Yeah.
And then I tore my meniscus. And then I came back in 4 weeks after that, and then I guess started doing the thing with uh, with Christian, which was great. I mean, that gave me that saving grace, and I really wanted to keep going. But when I got my dome and I almost broke my neck with Bob, I thought, it's time for me to powder out.